Hello friends, my name is James Hopkins, and as always I'm joined by my good friends Bryan Castiglione and Anthony Alessino, as well as my younger brother, Jack Hopkins. On this show we're all about parlays, overs, unders, spreads, and money lines. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Parlay-Vous. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Parlay-Vous podcast. We are doing NFL Week 2. It's Thursday night, currently about an hour and a half before kickoff. So we're going to try to get this all in and catch kickoff. We'll see how that goes. Real quick, we did Thursday night on Tuesday's episode. So we're just going to real quick. What I have locked in as we speak is the over in the first half, over 26.5 points. Minus 105, I got it at. So that's 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The way I see it, 3 for Pat and 1 for Herbert is doable. We'd have 3 from Pat in the first quarter.
I think you could have 3 from Herbert.
You could.
Remember, I'm the only one in this room riding on the Chargers.
Well, so the only things I have placed right now are that over in the first half, 26.5. And I gave you 2 same-game parlays on Tuesday. The one that I have action on right now, for sure, I've already placed it, is Herbert over 1.5 passing TDs. Anytime Eckler, anytime Josh Palmer, plus 485 I got it at. Those are the only 2 bets I have placed.
Still very good.
So we're not against each other right now. I need points.
Well, I didn't do that. The only thing I did was I did one DraftKings lineup for just tonight with the captains and all that. And I didn't do it yet, but I'm going to do the Chargers plus 4.5, even though it looks like it might be dropping to 4, but whatever.
I was already able to get it at 4.
No, I don't want 4. I want
It's at 4
4.5.
right now.
I was able to get it at 4 before.
Yeah, I want the 4.5.
Buy it, dude. It's $10.
Yeah, I totally get it. Maybe, but if it goes up to 4.5, I'll buy it to 5 and feel fucking special.
5, I think you'd feel good about.
Anyway.
Like, Brian, you got any action? ACT,
I'm
ION.
looking. I do like any time on Everett.
Ooh.
Plus 225.
So
with no
I
Keenan
was
Allen.
just listening to Tuesday because I like to listen to try to get
John
better,
Miller.
you know? And I literally just listened to the part where I said I get it, but he caught 2 last week, and that scares me because if he catches one tonight, he's on pace to have like a 15 touchdown season.
Yeah.
But I get it.
So there's another bet here. I'm just kind of going through the sports book a little bit. Plus 1,000. Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes each have a 50-plus yard completion. Plus 1,000.
So
Doesn't seem totally impossible.
not for Mahomes, but the debate that they're trying to
Yeah,
catch on here
who's
is-
the home run hitter that's catching a 50?
Joshua Palmer.
No, he's a slot guy.
He's fast,
You
but I
just
don't.
never know.
He's fast, but he's going to run out of the slot. That's the problem. So is Mike Williams?
No, he's not a second gear guy.
He's not, but they do throw to him deep.
I guess.
But he's not the burner. I get
That was always the issue with their
So is
offense,
it
right? Their
Carter?
top 2
I
guys.
put money on it.
Is it Carter?
I put money on it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Is it Guyton?
listen, I'm in.
Is it
I'm
Jalen?
not gonna
hopefully
put action on
that'd
it.
be
Is it Jalen Guyton?
Could be Guyton.
And he barely saw the field, but it could
Yes.
be Guyton.
Yeah. They only have to catch one pass.
And they
Is
could
it-
catch
wait,
the
hold
ball
on,
51
3.
yards.
No,
Is it-
it's not air yards. No
It's
way.
not air yards.
Completion.
No way. Yeah.
Completion.
Oh, then
It
yeah, I
could
thought
be
you-
caught. It could be
completion.
caught 3 yards in the
Yeah,
backfield.
catch and run.
Oh, yeah.
could
If
be
it
a
was air
screen.
yards, I'd be like, I don't know
Right.
about this one. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
if you catch a dump off and run for 40, 50 yards.
Yeah,
Thanks.
air yards would be wild.
If Eckler catches a screen and runs for 50 yards,
QBs
Yeah.
and palm trees.
you never know.
QBs and palm trees. Josh Palmer, anytime touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, 15 rushing yards. Justin Herbert, 10 rushing yards.
That is what they call a soccer's bet.
Here you go.
They're trying to sock you in.
This is a little bit mixed. Little 2x4, it's called. Patrick Mahomes and Herbert, 2 passing touchdowns each. Paul Goldschmidt and Carlos Carrera, those are baseball players, 2 total bases each.
No
Parlay.
shit. Are they? Never would have guessed.
You have to say it. These guys do it all. Herbert rushing 15, Herbert passing attempts 35, Mahomes rushing 15, Mahomes passing attempts 35. The electric slide. Chargers win. Herbert over 300 yards. Eckler 50 rushing yards. And the Chargers over 2.5 total touchdowns.
Dude,
I don't
it's
hate
someone's job to sit at a WeWork desk and come up with these fucking parlays for DraftKings
Well,
and FanDuel
yes,
and whoever the
yeah.
fuck else.
I don't hate that.
It's
but
some 23-year-old intern.
If the Chargers are going to win, this should hit. Herbert should throw 300 yards and Eckler should have 50 rushing yards. And over 2.5 touchdowns. That should have, I mean, that
It should.
It should. LA Chargers over 2.5 touchdowns. It could be defensive touchdowns. It could be anything. Just get to 21 points.
Special teamer
Realistically. Yeah.
with a punt return touchdown.
That's, plus 700, that's not bad.
I'll tell you right now, if the first touchdown of this game winds up being a non-offensive touchdown, we're in trouble. Right off the bat, we're in trouble for a weird night.
Anything else on the Thursday game that we could think of?
No, I kind of liked KC minus 4.5 with the over 54, but I might pump the brakes on it and just sit on the two I have. Just leave it open-ended. Excuse me.
All right. Jesus Christ.
As of right now, I don't have any action on the actual outcome of the game, and I feel good about that.
Okay.
Neither do
That's
I.
fine for right
Yeah.
now. I mean, I may get one in before.
Yeah,
Before
we'll
kickoff.
see. It's going to be a
yeah.
long 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, wow. I just got an update. $14.5 million was paid out last week in the promo that said, for DraftKings, if your team leads by 7, it's an automatic win.
Right.
Oh, wow.
14.5, and they went back at it again. They doubled down tonight. Same thing. If your team leads by 7, you cash.
It's over, baby.
But anyway, so daily fantasy. Brian, are we ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
So here's how we'll do it. Me and you are gonna compete against each other in DraftKings this week. See what happens. I'm just gonna run down. I'm gonna go quarterback. Tell you my quarterback. You tell you your kind of quarterback.
Okay.
We'll just go by position and just kind of give just like a little insight on as to why you picked it, and then I'm gonna kick to you for some value plays, some stud options, and then you have 2 separate lineups. I guess one of the lineups would be the cash lineup, which would be the lineup you're gonna play against me right now.
Yeah. Also, some of the stud and the value plays in the lineup are going to come up in the segment. So
That's fine.
we can
yeah.
just go through it. And
right. Whatever.
I'll
you
break
don't-
it down a little bit more
Yeah.
as we get
But
through
there
it.
will be a
Yeah.
second lineup
That's going to be for tournament.
that'll be for
Yeah.
tournaments at the end of this little segment. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll start off quarterback. Went with Derek Carr this week.
I was going to go with Derek Carr. I wound up saving some money, and I bumped up to Matt Stafford.
Okay. All right. I can deal with that. I mean, Derek Carr versus Arizona, they got to show me something until they do.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep
I like
spamming
Derek
it.
Carr this week as well. Like I said, he was slotted in there. I wound up picking up an extra $200. So
Okay. All right.
figured why not? It's not just I'm not going to let it sit there. So
So it's weird to say RB1, even though he's not my RB1.
you could just say both because it like
All right.
yeah.
Antonio Gibson, Javonte Williams.
Okay. I have Christian McCaffrey and Darrell Henderson Jr.
Definitely you paid more value than me, right?
Without a doubt. I paid up a lot of money for Christian McCaffrey. Darrell Henderson is actually fairly cheap given that Cam Akers
What is
didn't-
he at?
He's $5,700.
Oh, so yeah, you got a bargain.
And he didn't even see the Cam Akers didn't even see the field last week. So assuming that trend continues, I figured pick up him cheap. We know McCaffrey against a middle of the road Giants defense is probably going to get touches and get the scores. So I figured I'd pay up for him.
So Javonte Williams versus the Texans. There's no doubt in my mind he should get the bulk of the workload. He's better. And the Texans, they need a victory now. They need to win the Broncos.
Yeah.
And then Gibson against Detroit, I feel like, Detroit's a bad
I'm
defense.
big on a lot of Commanders this week.
Not
for
a
sure.
big Antonio Gibson guy. in
But I'm not
general.
big on Gibson. Another guy I had in here in place of Henderson, I was like, I'll pay down.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take a shot on.
All right, so wide receivers, I got, I'll name all 3.
Okay.
Hunter Renfrow. Wanted to get that pair with Derek Carr. I know they have Devontae Adams, but he only had 5 points last week. He was
Right.
$5,500. He's eventually going to go off.
Right.
Curtis Samuel on the low.
Yep. Very low. Like
And-
extremely low.
Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
Cortland Sutton has a great matchup against Houston again.
Yeah.
Houston has a very, very young and inexperienced cornerback situation going on. They should be exploited. So that's who I got. Those 3.
I have Tyreek Hill. I have Brandon Cooks, and I also have Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
Same kind of strategy as the running backs. Paid up very high for Tyreek Hill, paid down very low for Curtis Samuel, and then tried to find some value in the middle of both of them. Wound up with Brandon Cooks. You could probably get a better option than Cooks at that price point. I'm not gonna lie, but I like the idea. Number one wide receiver. Him going against Patrick Surtain makes me a little nervous, but I think he'll get targets regardless. So if we
he
get
didn't
the
do great
volume
last
up,
week,
then
Surtain. So,
but he's
So I'm
coming
assuming
to break out. Yeah,
I'm assuming you paid down for tight end. You had
like
to.
I always do.
Yeah, but you had to, right?
Yeah, of course.
I
There's no
didn't.
way. Okay.
Darren Waller, second
I have
second highest, right? Second highest tight end available, and also putting him a car, getting a stack.
You're really attacking that Arizona Cardinal defense, huh?
Until they prove that they're going to stop
the way
somebody.
it looked last week, you might as well.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Fuck the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Tight end, I paid way down. I have Logan Thomas.
Not bad.
The way I see it is like I've said with tight ends last week, they only really need to get you 8 to 10 points if you're paying down on them. He wound up with 8 last week. Carson threw for a decent amount of yards last week.
Burrow.
Logan Thomas.
Oh, sorry, Logan Thomas. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Logan Thomas. Yeah.
That's
Hayden Hurst was last week.
That's who you took last week. Yeah.
With the same idea that he'll get targets, things like that. So, I paid down for Logan Thomas, for sure.
So, the flex now. Nick Chubb against the Jets.
I have Christian Kirk against the Colts.
Okay, so I had a lot of money left, so I was able to pay up and get
that's a solid
Chubb.
pick, for
and
sure.
Kareem Hunt did really good last week. So did Chubb. But one of these games are going to be scripted specifically for Chubb. And I feel like it's one of those games where it's not going to be particularly close, right?
No, probably not.
They were in not a shootout, but they were in a game last week. So with the Panthers.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this game scripts out a little differently, and they're at home, and it's kind of like.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be that much of a blowout. Do you think the Panthers are a good team?
No, not particularly.
Okay. The Jets got blown out, but when you really look at that game, they locked up Lamar for like 2 blown coverages.
Yeah.
And which is everyone who loses in the NFL. There's 2, 3 plays.
A couple.
But other than that, the defense held up. The offense looked terrible, and Cleveland is a son of a bitch on defense.
Yeah.
But if the offense improves at all, which they fucking have to, right? Because it can't get any worse than it was last week.
They have to marginally improve.
I think it's going to be a little bit more of a game because I thought Cleveland was an easy fucking bet to hammer, and then I was like, it's the Jets.
Yeah.
But that's also me with my Jets bias. I'm like, you bet against them and they fuck you. Yeah. Then you got to be mad that the Jets won a game.
Yeah, I hear you. But I went with Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. All right. Who do you have for your defense?
I'm assuming we might have the same defense.
We might. We probably should.
Bengals.
The Bengals, dude, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, without Dak Prescott, you're only paying $2,200.
$2,200 is
Cooper
like
Rush
stealing.
Did not look convincing last week. You have to run the Bengals. It's hard because you're probably going to have to fade them in tournaments. I didn't, to be honest, but there's going to be a lot of people running the Bengals.
Oh my God, I'm sure everybody's going to run out the Bengals. But that's the lineup that I have. You heard Bryan's lineup, so we'll compete one-on-one, and we'll kind of see who wins that one. I'm not going to change anything unless there's an injury.
Yeah,
same thing for you for that one.
Yeah.
And then value plays that we didn't mention. I don't have any, but obviously you said you did, so.
I'm going to give I got like 2 studs for each one, 2 values. So and there's going to be a lot of overlay. So I have Matthew Stafford as one of the studs. Versing a middle of the pack defense. I think after coming out, literally he got sacked 7 times last week against Buffalo. I think he's going to come out. I think the offense is going to start humming. We're going to actually see what the Rams offense is supposed to look like when Von Miller's not in the backfield every other play.
We're going to find out what happens to this Atlanta team when they get punched in the mouth early.
Right.
Instead of Jameis waiting to turn it on after halftime.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my man.
I'm sorry.
No, come on.
Come on in.
We're doing daily fantasy.
It's a little weird because he heard us. He just barged us in.
Yeah, that's all right.
We'll let it happen.
I'm sorry.
Good. We didn't have the red light on that said
go ahead, just twist it. We'll readjust it. It's not a big deal. Watch where you're sitting. Don't crush anything.
I'm sorry.
All right.
All right, Brian's in the middle of telling us some value plays for daily fantasy.
Tell us all about
We're
it,
gonna
Brian.
have to readjust this shot after.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. All right, so Matthew Stafford, like I said, we're gonna finally see what the Rams offense is gonna look like without Von Miller in the backfield. My second stud actually was Derek Carr. Like I said, I was big on him as well.
I'll take it.
He's only $100 less. Arizona, the defense was terrible. They gave up 360 pass yards last week. And I felt like with that Chiefs game, once it got bad, it just progressively got worse. The Cardinals didn't bounce back. There was no resiliency. I feel like Devontae Adams is eventually going to pop off. We're going to have one of these games where he's getting 11 catches, almost 200 yards. And, you know, if it's this week against the Cardinals, it really wouldn't surprise me.
If I might add, we're already kind of seeing it. I think he had 100 scrimmage with 7 catches.
Yeah, definitely.
He did. He was phenomenal.
As far as value goes, we kind of mentioned it also. Carson Wentz against Detroit. He's only 5,800. Had 313 yards on 4 touchdowns last week. And then I'm not really sold on this pick, but he was a cheaper option at the price point that kind of had an okay matchup. I wound up going with Daniel Jones. I'm not going to put him in my roster. But if you want to pay really low at quarterback to make up for everything else, I think you can make the
Do you
case.
want to pay backup quarterback prices for
a
backup
starting
quarterback value?
Yeah. You really just have to bolster up the rest of the team with.
Listen, there's a chance
some
that they
serious
end up
talent.
2-0 at the end of this week.
Which is sickening. Absolutely sickening, dude. I think
Running
Carolina
back
beats the
real
brakes
quick.
off of them.
Studs. I have Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I kind of went over it in the
Yep.
DFS itself, and I also have Leonard Fournette. I know they're versing the Saints. I totally get it. I just feel like we know how Tom Brady is against the Saints. We know what happens to Mike Evans when Marshawn Lattimore is covering him. No Chris Godwin there. I feel like the Bucs are gonna lean on Fournette and Julio
They
Jones.
ran the piss out of the football against Dallas.
Right, and that's exactly what I was just about to get to. 127 rushing yards for Leonard Fournette last week. And I just feel like in a week where you're going to have to lean on him, volume's probably going to
Do you have his price?
He is 6,700 this
That's
week.
not
So
terrible.
it's top of like the middle tier, but not like...
Crazy enough, I
Yeah.
could replace Antonio Gibson with him. I have the money for that. Antonio Gibson was 6,500. If I were to take that lineup, put it in a different lineup, not the one for me and you, but I'm saying if I wanted to play a different lineup,
Yeah.
similarly to what I had, but just kind of change out a few things, I could. That's not bad.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned this too. Saints gave up 201 rushing yards to the Falcons last week. So, and that's Cordell Patterson. So, wide receivers real quick. Studs were hard this week. A lot of them are expensive. They corrected the prices very well as far as the top tier guys. Obviously, I had Tyreek Hill. I was big on him in my head-to-head. But another guy I had was Michael Pittman. I kind of mentioned this on Tuesday, but I feel like it's a very big get-right game for the Colts. It's a very big right game for Matt Ryan. Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, I feel like not really Jonathan Taylor. He did his normal thing. But I feel like it's a big get-right game for Matt Ryan to prove that it wasn't a waste to bring him in. And Pittman's obviously going to be...
I want to know one thing. That Pittman did not practice today.
He didn't. I think it was a hamstring,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem like
He
it's
should be
anything
fine,
too
but
crazy.
We have to. I think it's only fair that we do say it.
Someone else, Alvin Kamara, didn't practice today.
Alvin Kamara did also not practice yet.
Also, if I may add, also another get-right game this week. We got the Packers coming out, and I imagine Rodgers is going to be pissed.
This man loves the
Looking like-
Packers.
Yeah, he loves
I'm a
the
Packers guy, man. Let me tell you. And Lazard's looking to come back. I think he practiced today.
This man's blind faith in Alan Lazard never
it's
ceases
crazy.
to fucking amaze me, dude.
You're talking a lot of smack over there. Let me tell you, dude. Did any of those receivers look any bit appealing to you on the Packers?
Yeah, it's
Any of them?
amazing. Yeah.
Are there any guys who looked great to you?
No,
No.
but
No.
No, but
they're not very.
I
good.
was listening to, and this is about a fantasy. I'll just leave that. I was listening to XM radio in the car, and they were saying there are people, legitimate guys who play fantasy football for like $5,000 a team, like those high end stake seasons. They said the number one thing they look at is not who everybody's picking up, it's who everybody's dropping. And in multiple leagues, they've seen Alan Lazard be dropped. And
that is
panicking for one reason or another. Curtis Samuel. I'm trying to think of like the hot waiver wire pickups.
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie
Wilson
Anderson,
Jr.
Jeff Wilson
Duvernay.
Jr. There you go. The whole nine, right? Devin Duvernay. Yeah. Those guys. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Alan Lazard is going to have 11 receptions or 11 targets this week if he plays. He's the only guy that Rodgers trusts besides the running backs. And Tunyon. But
No, for sure.
Funny
But
Tunyon,
he's
I don't
not-
know about him.
We'll see what happens.
He's not Devontae Adams.
No.
He's
No,
not
he's
Jordy
not the-
He's
Nelson.
never going to be.
He's not young Randall Cobb.
They don't have that. I don't
Greg
even know. I
Jennings.
don't
He's
even
not
know if
any of
there's
these
one of
guys.
those on the roster.
When you
Donald
have
Driver.
Aaron
Donald.
Rodgers,
He's not even old Donald Driver, dude.
But
He's not even old man Donald Driver.
I don't think they have one of those on the roster.
No, they don't. But it's certain. We know it's
You heard
not
what Roger
Lazard.
said today,
There's
right?
some guys that could be.
No.
We know it's not Lazard.
He said, I just have to keep playing my game, and these guys got to catch up to the NFL speed. Essentially. So
Christian Watson has to
But
not
anyway.
drop guaranteed
Go ahead, where
touchdowns.
were
So
we?
go ahead.
We're at value wide receivers.
Okay.
Real quick, I'll run through them. Got DJ Moore. I'm not totally sold on him, but for where he was, it was a good price point. I think it's going to be a little bit different for the Panthers without Myles Garrett and Clowney being on that front line.
The Giants, right?
Yeah. So I think Baker Mayfield can
Tibbs
sit back.
still out?
no, they said he should be good to
He
go.
should be good.
So you have the Panthers in this game, or you think the Giants? Because you have a lot of you're
I'm
like
not
stacking.
sure.
the-
Well, I have McCaffrey and Moore.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not really touching anybody.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's a lie. I have somebody else, but Anyway, I did this one for Hawk. I made the argument for my. Well, yeah, I did it for Hawk. I have Elijah Moore also against Cleveland. Joe Flacco had 297 passing yards, and I think it was Elijah Moore, Corey Davis,
Thought it was 313.
and Brees Hall. Oh, he might. Yeah, it was 330. You're right. The Rose with
Elijah Moore did shit.
Listen, it was Corey Davis. I want to say it was Brees Hall and someone else. They all had seven
Carter.
targets. Michael Carter all had 7 targets apiece last week. So Elijah Moore. I mean, for $5,000, I felt like I could make it work. I really did it for you, Hawk. To be honest.
No,
My
I get it.
biggest-
I wasn't shitting on it. I was just
Yeah.
saying I have him on a fantasy team, and he had single-digit points.
Well, the real value is here. It's in Curtis Samuel. We already talked about it. He's 4,600. 8 receptions last week on 11 targets.
And
And-
open to the game.
Yeah,
With
and a
like
very
4.
similar Commanders team against a Lions team that found themselves. Oh, I'm sorry. A very similar Commanders team to the Eagles that found
Yeah.
themselves in a shootout.
This
with
could
the
easily be
Lions
the highest scoring
last
game.
week. This could be the
Bes-
same
yeah,
thing we
but
saw last
besides
week.
the one we're about to see in an hour, this could be the highest scoring game.
And then to
Yeah,
wrap
for
it up
sure.
real quick, I'm not going to go too crazy into it because I don't go crazy with tight ends, but studs, TJ Hawkinson, 4,700, and then the values in Albert O, 3,700, and then defense is obviously going to be the Bengals versus the Cowboys with no Dak for 2,200.
All right, so
You're right.
yeah,
And then
the tournament lineup. Just run through it quickly.
tournament lineup real quick. 'cause
I
you
know
always
it's different.
Yeah, you want to. The idea is to stack. You want to find your value plays and people who are going to kind of skew you away from the pack a little bit. So I went with a stack also multiple times. I went with Carson Wentz, Antonio Gibson, and Curtis Samuel all in the stack.
Okay.
I have James Conner as my other running back, and then I have Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, and Robbie Anderson all as wide receivers. Alberto at tight end, and then the Bengals defense.
Okay.
And that's going to be the
So,
tournament pick.
you know who I was thinking about like a lot, and I just didn't pull the trigger on, and I might end up doing it between now and Sunday for daily fantasy. Zay Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably cheap. I
He
didn't
had
see
eight,
his
he had
price
8
point, but
receptions,
I'm sure
11
he's cheap.
targets.
I was also thinking about Jacoby Myers, but it's hard with the Patriots offense. But
Yeah,
I
It
think
is.
he's around $3,000, which is just like crazy
that
for,
is crazy.
for the volume he gets. But it's concerning. The
Yeah.
Patriots
He's a
offense looks
very
terrible.
solid receiver.
Yes.
So I have just one point to make fantasy wise. Who are the Jets playing this week?
The Browns.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Last week the Jets duo of DJ Reed. Have you covered this?
No.
DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner allowed for the fewest receiving yards over the entire NFL. I don't think playing any of the Browns receivers is a smart play.
I don't think
I mean,
playing
it's
Browns
I know.
receivers any week is a smart play, to be quite frank.
But that goes even further into the Chubb.
Getting lost in the sauce. So
But
far,
that
Mark
goes-
Andrews lost in the sauce, dude.
Yeah.
But that goes even deeper into the Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt
100%.
spam plays. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is that it for daily fantasy? Is anybody else? Anything else to
I'm
throw
good
in?
if no one else has.
I got it's got nothing to
Yeah,
do with
Daly's
daily
not your
fantasy.
thing. Yeah.
Nothing to do with daily
I'm
fantasy,
good.
but I'm gonna smash you this week. bro.
Whatever. Let's
know,
don't talk dirty. to
I
him
just
on
gotta
the
say
air.
this real quick on air. You said this to me last week. You're like, I'm gonna smash you, and I'm like, let me go look at my team. I'm listing Chris Godwin, Keenan Allen, and I'm only projected to lose by 1 point. So what are you talking about?
Oh, I
my
wasn't
man?
talking about based on projections. I'm just going
Oh,
to smash.
well, that's
you.
good because my team I think is gonna outplay the projections, so I'm not too worried about it. To be
I
honest.
think my team may or may not out.
it doesn't matter. You're gonna lose.
I'll tell you,
Coming out
Mahomes is
with
gonna way
the
outscore
victory.
29 points tonight. Way outscore.
I know. I forgot you have Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I'm not worried about it.
All right. Well, good luck to you, sir.
Good
Ready
luck
to
to
take
you
a
too.
break, right?
Yep.
It's a new year, and with the new year comes new resolutions. And what's going to help you complete the resolutions that you set forward for yourself this year? Inspiration. And we have just the company for you that's focused around inspiration. Head on over to staythirstyco.com and put in the code HAVOC to get 15% off on your next order. And make sure you take a look over at the Winter 2022 collection. That's staythirstyco.com. Drop the OY and focus on you.
Welcome back to the show. As always, best way to support the show is to support the sponsors. You support the sponsors, you're supporting the boys, helping us chase a dream. Get out of this fucking basement. We're going to get into the Sunday and Monday slate of games, but before we do, we're going to go to Bryan for some notable line movement that's taken place since Tuesday. To my understanding, it's really only 3 games, but one of them is the game tonight, so 2 games really.
Yeah, so the first one kind of obvious. Bengals versus Cowboys. Originally opened up at Bengals -6.5. It only went up to 7.5. So I guess nothing too crazy, but they're anticipating more than a touchdown. And then Cardinals versus Raiders. Originally opened up at -3.5, but is now up to Raiders -5.5. So
A lot of money coming in on the Raiders.
moving there a little bit. And yeah, just obviously today's game from 4 to I'm sorry, from 3.5 to 4.
I mean, it was just 4.5, and it kicked back down.
Oh, so it's still
So,
moving as we
that's
speak.
fine.
Yeah.
So anything over, I would say 1 full point movement is significant. I think the Raiders one's pretty significant. They must believe that no wide receiver on the Cardinals is going to play. I mean, obviously there's no Hopkins, but they have to believe that Rondell Moore is still out.
Which he is, I believe.
Yeah.
And you just have to not believe in that Cardinals defense, which is not very hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to look at is Benjamin, that backup running back, call a lot of passes, a lot of targets out the backfield too.
Benjamin, he says. All right. I'm not touching any Cardinals, but
I'm not
Interesting.
touch
Touch
him
him
either. Just, little guy to look out for.
so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to collectively, as a unit, the 4 of us, take $1,000 in fucking Monopoly money, right? And we are going to bet it, maybe drop a heavy nuke somewhere, maybe sprinkle it all the way up and down the slate. But it's in $100 units, right? So theoretically, up to 10 separate bets we could be making here. So if you're playing along at home, you're listening along at home, just think of it as whatever your unit is, equate that to $100 in this situation, and maybe use that as a roadmap. Try to figure out how you want to lay your action this week. Whether you want to fade us or rock with us. You have the option for both of them. So we'll just start with the Jets going to Cleveland. That game's sitting at Cleveland -6.5. Over under on that? Do you have those?
Yeah, 39.5. Low.
Personally, for me, it's a stay away on all.
I don't want to touch
On
it.
all
Yeah, I'm not
sides.
touching this game at all.
There's so many factors that just.
I'm not touching it.
He's not touching it.
Over under, I'm considering, but I'm not going to touch it.
Oh,
I feel like this game could be too volatile.
I'm not touching it. Washington at Detroit. Detroit is -1. The over under is
48.5.
And that could go over.
I like Detroit -1.
if anything, I like the over. I just don't know. You really do like Detroit -1?
I
I
also
think they
like
catch a
Detroit
win
-1.
this week. Yeah, I think this might
But
be it.
it's one of those things where we're gonna get tired of it. I did week 1, I did Detroit. Week 2, I'll do Detroit. But if they don't, they're gonna fall out of favor with me pretty quickly. Give me the pound.
Jack, give up.
I like the over in Detroit. I do like the over in Detroit.
I think I like the over. I do. You guys, I'll go with Detroit -1.
That's what I'm going with.
Or do you want to put on it like 200 to win 180? Is that what it would be?
I'm okay with that as long as consensus is okay with that.
I feel like we gotta go down the slate and then just leave it here.
So just leave them there. We'll go down everything, and then we'll
Okay,
allocate
because
the
I don't
funds.
wanna-
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
It's,
Yeah.
it's hard to allocate now.
That's fine. I like that better. So we'll keep it moving. Tampa Bay -2.5 at New Orleans. Over under is.
44.5.
Tell you right now, if anything, I go under, but I'm not, certain about the over under. I would I would personally like the New Orleans money line in this game. Tom Brady hasn't done it yet, so
I would also.
I think it's interesting. For
I
sure.
also like the money
Yeah.
line.
Tom Brady's
Yeah.
0 whatever against
And
New Orleans.
0-4 as a
0-4.
as a Buck, and we talked about this on Tuesday's show. Home dogs in divisional matchups do not lose.
I do like that.
I do like
I'm okay
New
with
Orleans.
All right, so we like the New Orleans money line. Carolina at the Giants. Giants are 1.5 favorites. Over under
I'm not gonna touch a game.
43.5.
would not touch.
Not touching either.
I'm staying away. Yeah.
New England -2 going to Pittsburgh.
I don't like it. I like Pittsburgh straight.
Over under's 40.5. I do like the Steelers though, to be honest. If
I
Mac Jones
kind
doesn't
of like
play.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Not only is it
kind of like it.
the dog at home, it's the Pittsburgh defense just looks phenomenal. And I understand a little Bengals hangover, Super Bowl hangover, but the defense looks like they come to play.
No, we know their
Part
defense.
Part of me
is
doesn't
for real.
want. Part of me doesn't want to touch it because you got to think of the bounce back, and then you got to think about the letdown game that they went to
Yeah,
the
but-
Bengals and won. It's a perfect.
Is
opportunity.
it Brian Hoyer? Who's the backup in New England? It's
Brian
Brian Hoyer.
Hoyer,
So
yeah.
like, if it's
Brian Hoyer.
going to be back spasm Mac Jones or Brian Hoyer, I kind of like Pitt.
I agree.
We'll
think
we'll,
it's too.
we'll
I
note
watched
it.
the-
We'll keep it moving.
When you watch the
Indianapolis.
Miami defense slice them in half. It's not fun to watch the Patriots.
Yeah, but Miami's probably more explosive. Well, I'm not saying they're a better offense, but they're definitely a more explosive offense than the Steelers.
Yeah,
That's fair,
that's
yeah.
not unreasonable to say. Indianapolis going to Jacksonville -3.5. Over under is.
44.5.
I want to make it clear that that's a
This is a divisional home dog.
right.
Yeah.
So for me, it would have to be a stay away because I don't
Yeah, I'm not touching this either.
-3.5. It
Minus
is.
3.5.
Yeah,
Against Indy?
Yeah,
That's
it's a get right game for Indy, but it's also we're just doing the home like.
and the line for the over under is 44.5.
Yeah, I personally think it's a stay away.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I wrote it, but we'll move.
No, yeah, that's fine. Move it, keep it moving. Miami going to Baltimore, where Baltimore will be a 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
Over under.
44.5.
I don't feel great about it.
If anything, I'm gonna go under on this game.
Yeah, I
think
think
so?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the under's definitely a look.
this
at
could
it,
be
but
6-3 at halftime.
I could totally see it. Yeah, I like the under in that one.
All right, so we got that.
Atlanta going to Los Angeles to play the Rams, who are going to be a 10-point favorite. Over under.
45.5.
Telling you right now, I love the Rams -10. Absolute get right game. Like we said, we're gonna find out how Atlanta plays when they play a real defense and a team that isn't going to make colossal mistake after colossal mistake in the first half.
Anything
And-
else?
Got to be a get right game for Matt Stafford and the Rams, right? Got to be.
It has to be. Yeah,
Absolutely
like I was
has
saying,
to be.
Von Miller's not there. Time to sit
Find a
back
way to
and just
block
start
Grady
throwing.
Jarrett
Yeah.
and figure it out.
Are you agreeing? Are you agreeing with him? Is
I'm
that what you-
agreeing with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Rams 10. It's a weird game for me to look at, but I think it's definitely the get right game, and I like -10 for the Rams.
For the sake of what we're doing right now, we're gonna take it at 10. If this line doesn't move by Sunday, I might buy the half point.
It's fine.
But
Yeah.
for the sake of what we're doing right now, let's go Rams -10. Seattle at San Francisco. San Francisco is an 8.5 point favorite. I don't feel great about it. Again, bad forecasts in Santa Clara today.
Oh, really?
Yep, more rain expected. Not going to be a good weather. Doesn't seem like good
41
weather.
and a half.
Yeah,
for the
dude, I want
over-under.
to stay away from that as much as possible.
Damn, two
I'm not
rainy
there.
games in a row for Trey Lance. We're never gonna know if he's good. or
Monitor that weather situation.
Never gonna
but
know.
I feel like we might.
I mean, are they better? Where does the Trey Lance, Debo Samuel offense without Eli Mitchell compare to Russell Wilson's offense from Monday
Russell
night?
Wilson or
Say again. I'm sorry.
Where does the whatever we think the San Fran offense can be compare to Russell's offense in Denver from Monday night?
I mean,
Because
they're right there
they're-
from week one.
I mean, like in your head, like what's the
The
best for who when
Broncos-
at their best? Who's better?
Broncos.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Broncos got fucking. I mean, listen, they're gonna have timing issues and shit they got to work out. But
Yeah.
8.5 points? Nah, I don't know.
I think
like,
a lot of the Broncos' problems, and I said it Tuesday, was that their defense was amped up, thinking like they're top dogs, and I think they over pursued on a lot of plays.
Mhm.
I think they like we were saying, a 10-yard curl route, or well, I shouldn't even say that because that'd be wrong. But like a stop and go, they were jumping at every route. They were jumping at every. They were trying to make the big play. They were trying
Yeah.
to return a pick six. They weren't just playing sound defense. They were like being baited into a double move. They kept getting beat on like screens and picks and double moves and underneaths and screen plays and like little things, like, you know what I mean? They just
Yeah.
got kind of picked apart because they were too amped up. I think they'll come back, and I know we're not talking about Denver right now at this point, but that's part of what I'm saying with Seattle. I think they're not going to have the same success on offense that they had, but I don't think that.
Thing
agreed.
is,
But in
I
a
think
rainy,
Seattle's
bad weather
hungry.
game,
I don't
8.5
think that-
points is fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're telling me you want to take Seattle with the points?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, probably
And what's that spread? 9.5.
8.5.
8.5. Okay.
I think Seattle's still hungry, dude. I we'll come back to it.
Every team should be hungry. It's week 2. Let's
Yeah.
just. And I think Gino has something to prove. I understand that, and I think he has weapons. And Kenneth Walker is debuting, so I think all that plays positively.
Penny didn't look horrible. So
I don't.
No,
think,
they look.
But
they
I
look
don't
solid.
think they have a good defense.
No, and Blitz Boy done for the year.
So we'll move on and we'll get back to it.
Cincinnati going to Dallas to play Cooper Rush, minus 7.5
Yep.
Yeah.
7.5.
over under.
42.5.
We fucking absolutely love Cincinnati minus 7.5 in
Yeah.
this game. We absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I
That
think we're
one's.
looking at another big Jamar Chase game.
Although Joe Burrow needs to get right, and it's not a great defense to get right on, right?
They're a stingy defense.
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs has no chance to cover Jamar Chase.
No, but Michael Parsons is that dude.
Yeah, but he's going to be that dude for every game he plays. He's one of those guys where now you're plotting against him. He's not some rookie that we need to learn and figure out. He's one of the best players in the
I
league.
mean, listen, dude. When you're complaining about a chip shot from Leonard Fournette, it sounds pretty soft as baby shit to me.
That was a nasty hit.
Yeah,
That was a nasty hit.
and he wasn't complaining. He was. He wasn't really complaining.
He was doing the whole "it's not here. That shouldn't be in the sport."
Let's keep it moving here.
Uh,
Cincinnati. Oh, I'm sorry, we just did that. Houston going to Denver, where Denver will be minus 10. I don't know if I feel awesome about Houston plus 10, but I know I feel no type of way about Denver minus 10. Absolutely not. Not until I see it. Houston's scrappy, dude. I thought they were going to get the shit kicked out of them by the Colts, and it just didn't happen that way.
No, I thought that was going to be. I thought they were going to get.
You keep coming out to the breaking the huddle with 12 seconds left on the play clock, and Houston will
Yeah.
get you.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna touch this game. What's the over/under in this game?
45.5.
You said that? No,
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not touching this either.
I don't feel
to be
great
honest.
about it. Arizona going to Vegas. Vegas is minus 5.5. Over under is
51.5.
don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might even touch the under on that, dude.
Honestly, this is something that I like as a Vegas money line tagged with something else. You know, as a separate bet, I don't necessarily love 5.5.
I do. They're home. They're pumped. This is. I feel like you can't start 0-2 in this division. In the Raiders division
No,
with the Chargers and
definitely
Chiefs.
not.
So I feel like, although the Cardinals are, they're not a bottom half team, they're right on that fringe right there. I feel like, right, you take Cardinals are probably in between the 10 and 15 ranked in your mind,
Yeah, that should
Especially
be,
now.
Yeah.
especially now. I feel like the Raiders need to win this game, and I think they know that. I don't think 5.5 is too, asking too much.
Yeah.
I know. This just feels like a fucking some bullshit goes on late in the game. They wind up, it's tied, and then they can walk off field goal.
Yeah.
That's how I
That's
feel.
how everybody feels.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead,
Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay's laying 9.5 at home in the Sunday night matchup. They own Chicago,
Yeah.
but
What's over under?
41.5. Low.
I don't think I'm touching it.
I don't think so either.
No.
Green
I don't
Bay
know-
could
I don't know what's
touch
gonna happen with the
9.5. I
Packers
think
yet.
I'm pretty confident in that.
Confident in what?
Green Bay not minus 9.5.
No way. No
You
way.
How do you?
No way.
How do you say no way? Dude?
Why do I say no way? Because what have they done to show you that they can win a game by 10 points?
I don't know why you're looking at me.
I know. I'm looking at you for fucking assistance. Like,
Oh.
help me talk this guy off the ledge. What are we talking about? What do I mean?
Did you watch
What
it?
did they earn
I
it?
watched week 1.
Did they earn? I know you were working, but like, did you watch them not be able to figure it out?
I don't think it's going to be a matter of.
Christian Watson couldn't tie his own boots, dude.
I
Yeah,
think
but
we need to monitor what happens up until game day. To be honest with you,
you forget that if Watson catches like, I know it's like ifs and buts and shit like that, but like it was in his hands. He catches that ball,
Yeah.
and that's a touchdown.
It's a
and
totally different story.
You know, the game changes.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't think Aaron Rodgers. I think we're going to see what happened last year, dude.
I think they win this game.
I think they
10 fucking
almost
points
beat
is
the
a lot
brakes
for a
off of them.
team that only scored a single touchdown. They mustered 1 touchdown last week.
I think it's
Yeah.
different.
And I
dude.
think they're going to win a divisional game by 10. I don't know.
I'm agreeing to disagree.
In
with you
prime
there,
time?
dude, and I can't like.
10 or 9.5.
It's 9.5.
Okay.
Moving on to Monday night. Tennessee at Buffalo. Buffalo's minus 10. Over under is.
48.5.
I don't know how I feel about the over under.
high.
Don't know how I
Yeah.
feel about any of them this week. Smashing the Bills minus
Yeah.
10.
Yeah,
I will ride the
definitely.
Bills gravy train until it runs out.
I
dude.
agree. Titans didn't look good against the Giants last week either. So
No.
no,
No.
didn't look
No, and that's a backup quarterback,
right.
Daniel
We
Jones.
talked about that.
Yeah.
It's a budget play.
Okay. I'm a little nervous.
What, do you not feel good about it?
It's not
Well,
bad.
we haven't locked anything down
yeah.
yet.
9.5 or 10.
10. And then the second Monday night game is going to be Minnesota at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is minus 2. I like the Minnesota money
Yeah.
line in this game. The over-under is.
51.5.
I like the over.
Yeah, I do too.
This is the only over-under that I'm going to say that I like.
Can you read that back?
Sorry,
It was
over.
Minnesota was the
Over.
Minnesota.
2.5 or 2.
No, it's 2, but
Right.
it's the Minnesota money
Over.
line, and they're the underdog.
51.5.
Minnesota's underdog, and over under was 52.
51.5.
51.5.
Yeah.
I like it, dude.
All right, so now
So,
we have.
I tell you right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different possible plays. We have $1,000 to spend, $100 minimum. Realistically, we have 10 plays. I think we should get it down to 4.
And I mean, if you wanted, yeah, you could just get it down to 4
Yeah,
straight bets if you want.
Going,
What I was about to say is we could do parlays if we wanted
yeah,
to.
we can, but going 10-0 is very much hard to do. So I propose Minnesota money line.
I'm okay with that.
Half of our units.
I was thinking like in between 300 and 400, but 500 would be okay. I mean, whatever.
How do you guys feel about that?
Well,
You gotta feel more. You gotta feel like a mortal lock on that stuff if that's what you're gonna do.
I'm comfortable capping it at 500, but I think it should be at least 400.
Brian?
I'm sorry, I was writing
400.
400 or 500 on the Minnesota money line.
400.
Yeah, I'm at 400.
All right, so someone calculate that. Obviously, we don't have to get held up over it, but if you could.
Keep reading through all of it.
New Orleans money line. We all love that, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
You want to put. We have 600 left, right? So do you want to find 2 that we like equally and split them 300 apiece?
We can get.
I was gonna say we could go 400 on this. We all like this, and then we go a unit each on 2 more.
What?
I was gonna say we could, if you like, we all like this. Do we like this better than Minnesota?
No.
No.
No?
I
No
don't
way.
think so.
I would go Saints money line. That's some,
Do we want to go 2?
Well, let's just work backwards.
Okay.
So we were in love with Cincinnati minus 7.5. You loved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love that.
Mhm.
Everybody agrees that we love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 200 on Cincinnati minus 7.5.
Yeah.
So now we got 400 left to play with.
All right. 400 left. Seattle plus 8.5. Does anybody who doesn't love that? Absolutely love it.
I'm not absolutely
I'm
in
not
love with
sold
it,
on
but I
that
really
either.
like it.
Yeah, I'm not sold.
All right.
100%.
Rams minus 10. I'd be in love with that.
And I'm kind of in love
I'm
with
kinda
Rams
in love
minus
with
10.
that too.
Kind of there.
Okay. So Rams minus 10 for 200. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
That puts us at 800. So for the last 200, we either do 2 $100 bets, one $200 bet,
Mhm.
or one straight and one parlay, whatever you want to do.
Am I crazy for thinking New Orleans, Pittsburgh?
Money line, money line.
Money line, parlay.
Yeah, you're a little crazy. You are a little crazy.
I'm not saying sink everything into it.
Yeah. I would say if you want to do a parlay, I would do Detroit -1 and the over.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know. What was the over on that one too? Sorry, Brian.
Which one? Detroit. That one was going to be 48.5.
Okay, 48.5. And that's 100 to win. What I'm assuming would be, let's see.
Oh, I put these together for you real quick. Hold on. It's plus 249.
Okay. And we have 100 left. So, Baltimore, Miami under. Green Bay -9.5 was a question mark I wrote. Buffalo -10. And then New Orleans money line we don't have, and Pitt money line we don't have. So we can, if you want to throw.
I mean, we all really like the New Orleans money line, right?
You want to
Yeah.
throw 100 on New Orleans money line?
Yeah, what's that going to be like? Plus,
It's plus 120 right now.
Okay. So the bets that we have, and I guess we'll lock them here, but speak now, forever hold your peace. Money line Vikings 400 to win 440. Bengals -7.5, 200 to win 180. Rams -10, 200 to win 180. Detroit -1 and over 48.5 in a parlay, 100 to win 250. And New Orleans money line 100 to win 120. So 5 bets, 6 actions in those 5 bets.
Mm-hmm.
Not terrible.
No, I like it.
The real one, obviously, it's weighted that if Minnesota does get it done Monday night, we're looking at potentially at the minimum breaking even with one more game,
Right.
realistically. So that's good. I really, from a not monopoly money level, I will be putting, especially if I have a good week,
Yeah.
because you always tell, right, with Monday, like if you had it like Sunday kind of determines what Monday looks like. That's how I always kind of play it.
Fair
You get hammered, or you're up money and you're like, shit, I'm up a little bit. Like
Put
I
some
have
money on Monday.
a little more money to spend
Yeah.
on Monday. And I feel like if I'm up, Minnesota is something that I'll be like, all right, we're kind of not all in on, but here's a chance to really get ahead. You know what I mean?
A little exclamation point on the week.
Yeah. Well, and especially to start the week, then you feel like you really fucking hit it on the head. But anything else on any numbers, any player props, anything that we need to cover here in this little $1,000 segment?
I don't have anything.
No,
I
yeah.
think we're there. We're good.
So as far as
Do you
locks
want to
now-
break? Because I was just going to keep going.
No,
and
we
not
can
I was gonna
go.
say, I have
Yeah,
all my
I
stuff.
was planning on
No.
keeping Thursday to one commercial break if we could.
Yeah,
so that's
I'm good
fine.
to go.
Yeah, I
Brian,
mean,
then we'll start at
I'm
Brian.
going to explain everything because I don't
Okay.
think we've explained it. Last week we were we did 3 locks. We were trying to make picks. We got more structure going on this week. Here's what we're doing. 3 game picks against the spread. Have to be picks against the spread. 3 absolute mortal locks of any kind on game action, right? It's all game action.
Yeah.
So overs, unders, spreads, money lines, shit like that. And then we're going to do, everyone does 1 parlay, 3 to 5 legs, and then we do a glizzy god, and we will keep our records for everything.
And now, holy shit.
Start with games against the spread. Bryan, you ready? You got your 3?
Yeah.
Before we start, if we have games against the spread, is an alternate spread allowed, or just against?
No, the spread that's given.
All right.
If you want to pick an alternate spread, it's got to be one of your locks. That's a individual bet.
That's okay.
It is.
We're talking about game markets here.
Hey, the pen.
Yes.
Am I good? We're good?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
So against the spread, I have I got the Lions -1. I got the Saints +2.5, and I also have Pittsburgh +2.5 for against the spread.
All right. I'm going to take Buffalo -10 and not think twice about it. I'm going to take Seattle +8.5, and let's ride on the defense. Bad weather, don't believe in Trey. And you know what? Give me Minnesota +2.
Yeah. Detroit -1, Minnesota +2, Vegas -5.5.
I got Detroit -1. I got Vegas 5.5, and I got Buffalo -10.
Okay.
All right.
Back to you for the
For-
3 locks.
We're locking? All right.
Remember, you can use multiple locks for 1 play.
All right. So locks. I don't have any double ups, but I got the Bengals at -7.5, locking up. We're locking up the Minnesota versus Philly over. And we're also doubling down and locking up on the Vikings +2.
Like that. I like that a lot. I'm up.
You're up.
I am going to break out. We had to dig deep into the toolbox for this one. We're breaking out. What's that coming out of the tool bag? Is that a triple lock?
Oh,
Triple lock.
Oh!
Rams
Oh!
-10.
Oh!
Once, twice, 3 times. I do not believe Atlanta is a good team. They're going to have to go on the road now. They're going to have to travel across the country, and they have to play the defending Super Bowl champs, who I think are way better than what they gave us last week. Everything lines up for them to beat the piss out of the Falcons. Triple lock, Rams -10.
All right. I'm also triple locking. But
Really?
But I am not triple locking the Rams.
Okay.
I'm triple locking the Las Vegas Raiders straight.
Okay.
Just to win.
Just win.
Al Davis said
I
it
can't
best.
fathom them dropping to 0-2. I cannot fathom it, especially at home.
All right, so what I got here, I got a single lock on the Washington-Detroit over. And getting a little, I don't want to say crazy here, but we're reaching the tool bag here. We're going to pull out the old-fashioned double lock here. We're going to double lock down on the Pittsburgh money line. Little home glizzy for you.
Home glizzy.
Alrighty. I like that. Real quick, you have Mr. Pancake Louie, right?
Yes. Yes. For his locks, he's gonna have. Well, you know what? Let me give you the full summary. So for his against the spreads, he had No Name Dicks, which I'm assuming is the
That's the Commanders. Yeah.
He's got them at +1.5. He's got Cincinnati -7.5, and the Giants -2.5. That's his against the spread. And then for the locks, he's got Cleveland -5.5, Buffalo -9.5, and then Minnesota +2. Locking up. And then I have his do you want all of it? Or do you want-
No. We
Okay.
could keep now. Let's hear you got a parlay?
Parlay real quick. I kind of copied Hawk and Jost a little bit. I got a Pittsburgh Steelers money line, a Saints money line, and an over in the Philadelphia Vikings game. Parlayed all together +800 for that one. Do you want me to read off Pancake Louie?
Yeah.
All right. So he's got
He's got a ridiculous one.
yeah,
I
he's
read
got
it.
a lot going on. So it's a 5-leg parlay. He's got Pittsburgh +2.5, both the Indianapolis and Washington money line, Cleveland -5.5, Buffalo -9.5, and that's going to get you to the +1869 for that parlay.
Wow.
which is absolutely bonkers. Best of luck to you on that one. My parlay is going to be simple. We kind of alluded to it already earlier in the segment. I'm doing New Orleans money line, Pittsburgh money line, over 51.5 in the Detroit Philly game.
I didn't know. It was
And did we
exact
calculate that?
No, but if it no, got it. What is it? Say it again.
It's
I
the
did
New
it. 802.
802.
That's what I just had. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's the same parlay you just
I
had.
just said I copied Hawkinjoes and did the same parlay. Yeah, plus 800.
I was literally writing it down and asking him to calculate it for me while you were saying that. Damn, so I didn't even know we had the same parlay.
Yeah.
Cool
All right.
beans.
Well, I took the 2 money lines you liked and then an over under I liked, so it kind of worked out
It's
altogether.
exactly what I did.
I got Minnesota +2, Seattle +8.5, and Miami Baltimore under
Wow.
+595.
So I don't have odds at this current moment.
That's all right. Read it off. Someone.
Yeah, I
will
can put it
Parlay,
together.
we got 4 legs here. We got Green Bay money line. We got Vegas laying 5.5. Pittsburgh money line and Saints money line.
All right, homie. Run that
Yeah,
back
you might have to
real
run
quick.
that back slower.
We got Packers,
Packers money line.
Saints.
Saints money line.
All right.
We got Pittsburgh money line.
All right.
We got Vegas laying 5.5.
Vegas laying 5.5. That's going to bring you to plus 2004.
Love
Good
this
deal.
guy.
So the biggest odds out of all of us, but that's that's fine. That's
No,
fine.
That's
Dude,
fine.
you know who I am. You know what it's about.
What is it about? We haven't heard it yet
about?
this year.
We haven't heard it yet. I don't know. Look at him. He's getting scared. 'cause
Don't
he
look at
knows-
him. Take a deep look into the camera.
What the
Tell him
fuck?
what it's
I
about
got
over
no
here.
viewers.
I don't know if you know who I am, but my name's the mullet wearing, cold take sharing Jack Hawkinjoes. This ain't cold right here, dude. Let me fucking tell you something, all right? This is the motherfucking big dick swing of the week, dude. All right? You want to swing big? You want to win money?
It can't
fucking
be,
lock
dude.
this
It
shit in.
simply cannot be the big dick swing of the week if somebody has bigger odds than him.
No, no one
cannot-
does. No one does.
I know
No
they
one
don't,
does,
but that's
yeah,
what
no
I'm
one
saying.
does.
Oh yeah.
It just can't be allowed, you know?
Jesus Christ.
This is the big dick swing of the week,
Jesus
brought to you by the
Christ.
Parlay-Vous podcast.
Love that. Glizzy God time. Everyone's favorite fucking segment towards the end of the show. We all know. We went through it on Tuesday. We had Detroit around the horn,
Yeah.
right? Didn't work out. That's okay. Not afraid. We're 0-1 on Glizzy. I think this is the first time we've started a season 0-1 on a Glizzy, right?
Probably.
But it is
First
what it
time
is.
for everything, dude.
I have a feeling the net I'm tossing out, I'm not the only one throwing this net out here. But it is what it is. It's got to be Minnesota. It absolutely has to be Minnesota.
I didn't want to put too much Minnesota on.
Mm.
Did you take Minnesota too?
I took Minnesota.
I guess I could always switch it.
No. We don't. It's not
Don't
a group.
call it
It's not a
audible.
group
It
effort.
doesn't have to be a group decision.
I took the Jags. Not gonna lie.
Interesting.
Home
Matt Ryan,
underdog.
you've seen enough of Matt Ryan.
It's not that. I do think it's a big proof of game for Matt Ryan. However, we constantly make the point of home underdogs, and the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Colts in Jacksonville. They always do.
That's a good point.
That is a
and
good point.
Here's what I'm gonna say. This is funny you say that. You think Vegas is never wrong, right? Let's just
It feels like
let's
it.
just say that Vegas
Yeah.
is typically never wrong, and everybody sees this spread and goes, "How the fuck?" But there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's only 3.5.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it. I really don't. That's a cool pick.
Also, just as
It is.
while we're here, Pancake Louie's Glizzy is Miami.
Yep.
So, which is interesting.
Jack,
I thought
Glizzy
about
God,
Miami
you
too.
know, I kind of have to roll with what I'm feeling this week. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
All right. So we got Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and
Jags and
Jacksonville Jaguars, and Pancake Louie has Miami. All right. Different. We got some variation going on now. All right. So, by the way, the records, I know we were 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and you were 0-3, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
on week 1. Now there's a real structure, so we're just going to wipe that and start
Oh,
clean
good.
right now.
Nice.
Everyone's
Nice.
It's week 1 all over again. Everyone's 0-0
Everyone's
until
excited.
Monday, and then we'll start, keeping
So
the
let us-
records and
let
all
us
that good
clarify
stuff.
This rule: your double lock counts for 2 wins, or a triple lock counts for 3 wins.
That's, yeah, that's
All right.
exactly how that
We don't
works.
know what's going down.
Yep. So we got nothing else, right? Ready to watch some football? What time we got?
It's
8:06.
Fucking told
Wow.
you, kid. I told you, kid. All right. As always, we were brought to you by House of Havoc Podcast, Tiger Pack Productions, Sachi Di Gennaro, Stay Thirsty Company, Justin's Chop Shop, and Dino Skate Park. Peace out.
Stay fucking tuned.